We're the Lunatics and Legends podcast. We have been working at building this studio for quite a few months now. Went through some trials and tribulations and kept pushing forward because we're both very much in the same mindset of being unrelenting, not quitting, not giving up. And we're mission oriented, and we're both on a mission to help men that need something better. Whether it's men that are on the verge of, questioning whether to unalive themselves, or whether it's men that just want to operate at a higher frequency, that's who we're here for. We both have done a ton of work in the realm of masculinity, practicing stoicism and personal development. We have a pretty drastically different approach to the way that we do things. However, as we kind of discussed just off air, we're both super mission oriented. And so it ends up bringing us to a place where we motivate each other. We get excited to come in and do this and grow this thing out. Branden, if you want to talk about your background.
Yeah. At first, I'd like to just agree with you on, we're both very, very mission oriented. We have different approaches to things. And over the course of time that we've known each other, that's worked very, very well. And we've been learning a lot from each other in that space and how we approach similar goals in our own unique way, and supporting each other in that way. It's been pretty fantastic. And as far as like creating something to support men's mental health, is pretty important to me. There are, like you said, men who are considering unaliving themselves, or even men who just want to have a better understanding of how they operate, why they operate that way, and just learning from guests that we might have on who have done some pretty extraordinary things, and how they utilized stoic tools, if you will, to do these sorts of things and manage and navigate through the different times in their lives, and how they did it and what the result was at the end of it. Really find all of that very, very interesting. I'm very excited to do a lot of that discovery with you. And
Same. And I think it's also awesome that we're not taking an approach where we're going to just get on mic and tell the audience you need to behave this way and this is the way to do it. Instead, a lot of the approach is going to be that we have interviews with outlier men, and we kind of discuss the things that they've done, the things that they were thinking when they were surviving situations or rising to the top. And we already have some pretty amazing interviews recorded. We have some that are booked, and then we have some that we're just going to shoot for the moon on and continue to grow this thing out. Again, casting as wide of a net as possible. My goal in this is not to build this channel up so that we can make a bunch of money and become rich and all that. It is legitimately because I want to help men. I lost one of my best friends to self-harm, and I spent a lot of time dealing with that and attempting to process that, and with little to no tools whatsoever. And, I want to save men. I want to save men's friends and family from having to process that pain. And I want to give men an understanding that it's never over, and that you're always able to bounce back from whatever's happening. So if you're listening right now and you're at rock bottom and you think that everything is the worst that it possibly could be, I want you to understand that you can always just choose something different. And I get that there's mitigating factors, and there's a lot of people that are their own worst enemy. But right now is the point that you can choose into having a completely different life with different results, completely different results, if you so choose. And so we're going to discuss all of the things. I mean, we literally just released 3 videos with a man named Fred Ozen, who was a special agent. Now he's on to be, he went on to be an entrepreneur. He's the facilitator for PSI seminars. And we were talking about perspective, versus perception. We were talking about living in regret and, all of the things that are limiting factors that are holding men back from achieving the things that they want to achieve. And I understand our target demographic is absolutely men, but if there is women that are listening or watching right now, I want them to as well be able to go, okay, well, I want my boyfriend or I want my husband or my fiance to be in that type of headspace of high frequency, high achieving. How do I do that? And, so there might even be times where we address women and say, like, this as men is what we want for the most part.
Sure. There'll be lots of opportunities for them to process some information to figure out how to help support their partners. I really, really like the approach that we have about not so much advice, not interested in giving advice to people. It's more about sharing experience. And what I've learned in the last decade or so through coaching other people and helping other people on their health journey, that sharing experience and asking questions is significantly more effective than giving advice. Not that giving advice is necessarily a bad thing. I just have found that it's the results are less effective than having people share their real world experience with things. My experience in this area is this. I have found these results based on my choices in this way. And the opportunity to have people with us at this table talking about their experiences, and especially some of the people that we have coming on and some of the people that we have already recorded episodes with, some pretty unbelievable experiences that they've shared and articulated very well. I'm just really excited to see how people respond to hearing other people's stories rather than just being told this is how to do better or be better, because I find that mindset to be ineffective and kind of gross.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to be able to show examples of men that have lived through some of the hardest possible things that you could live through and then went on to live extraordinary lives, because their biggest limitation was that self-talk. Their biggest limitation was belittling themselves into aiming for low goals. And so even in the goals, I don't know how in depth we should get, but for example, PK Wood. That man was abandoned at a crack house at 5 years old by his mother. His father was absent from his life. He goes into the foster system, gets adopted, gets rejected, gets adopted, gets rejected, goes back, gets adopted a third time. That one sticks. And then he ends up going to work in the foster system himself, working with high risk adolescents. And we haven't even put that episode out yet. But that man's story is wild. Yeah. And so for somebody to be able to say, like, oh, well, this person doesn't understand my situation. We've had drug addicts, we've had alcoholics, we've had people that have had to deal with those
very
things
highly
on the side.
Abusive homes.
Right.
Yeah.
And have gone on to achieve great things and live the life that they want to live. And for example, like what Fred Hazoon said, and I absolutely love it, living by design rather than by chaos. And so I want anyone listening right now, if you're feeling low, if you're feeling like you're not effective, hit subscribe. Not for us, for you. And there is a lot of different things that we already have planned as far as philanthropic endeavors and things that we're going to do for our community to give back and to help push the cause of solid, calm, strong, stoic masculinity.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you for listening.